Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight Australia season 12 episode 19. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. The episode picks up where we left off, and it is the aftermath of the Adrian Afina family squabble. And Adrian is convinced that it is Chloe who escalated things, and things wouldn't have gotten to this level if she wasn't there. And he feels hurt by the situation.
They came in here with an agenda. He literally just said stay because he wants to recontrol the narrative. I don't know what I've done so wrong to that man.
Had Cleo not been there, I think that conversation could have been a little bit different, more understanding. I get that obviously emotions were high on both sides, but you know,
no one was attacking. We were simply asking the question.
Yeah, but obviously I'm emotional right now, and I'm upset too. Cleo was just way too in the wrong, and I don't think Afina's going to see what her and her sister done wrong. I genuinely don't.
What a joke! What a joke! What a joke! These people were piping up even before Cleo was on the scene. And even when Cleo was on the scene, she only piped up after she saw the continued disrespect towards her sister. So no, things did not escalate because, actually no, things escalated because of Cleo, but things were absolutely initiated because of his sisters and bestie. Now let's talk about this bestie, yeah? So Afina believes that Adrian went home, concocted this plan for his friends and family to attack her, and that's why he returned. Now, some of you guys were thinking the same thing in the comments, and amongst the comments, someone said that this friend, the red-haired girl, is an aspiring influencer, and she has since distanced herself from Adrian. Now, someone sent me this on Discord. I think it was Leah. So I'm going to read it for you guys. This is from the red-haired girl. Okay, let's talk. Over the next couple nights, you are going to watch me, regretfully, defend Adrian en masse. I take full responsibility for my actions and the things I say during that interaction. It is not at all the best version of myself, and I have since reached out to Afina and Cleo to apologize. As you all know, Adrian and I are no longer friends. Watching Adrian argue with Afina is like having deja vu. During the time this was filmed 6 months ago, I was still very much so Adrian's best friend. I only knew his warped version of reality, not Afina's. I can be a reactive person and will always come to my friend's defense in my situation, in any situation, which is what you will see unfold. Now, being on the outside looking in, I can't understand exactly how and why Afina had those feelings toward Adrian, because it was no different from our friendship. The manipulation tactics are copy and paste, hence why I ended the friendship and sweet Sundays at the end of last year. This is not at all an excuse. I would just like to speak my truth before the episode goes live. I wish I sympathize with Afina more. I wish my rose-colored glasses weren't on, and I am very glad Adrian no longer has a chapter in my life. Afina and Cleo, again, I am sorry for the things I say on Family and Friend Day and final vows. Okay. And Afina, you have my support in this all. Interesting. So, I mean, the apology is for Afina and Chloe, so it's not for me to accept. I think that it's rich for you to now say this only because that behavior has now been shown to you. I think it is so important to think critically, to think as best as you can without bias when somebody says, hey, I was hurt by a situation. Well, that didn't happen to me. Well, this is my friend, so I'm going to defend. And you can't tell me that she didn't see some signs of Adrian's behavior in their relationship before his manipulation tactics took full effect in their relationship. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I have a brother. I have seen how he acts. I would be stupid to now make somebody else feel like they're delusional simply because he's my brother. That's horrible. No, that's horrible. So it sucks that I don't even know her name. It sucks that she got to then see what Afina was talking about firsthand. But from the time they were acting a plum fool on the show, Next to meet their family and friends is Karina and Paul. Honestly, not too much to talk about. The family just wants to know if they are knocking boots, and they are pleased with their experience. So happy days for them. Then we have Veronica and Elliot who do the letter writing challenge. And I was thinking, wow, Veronica is finally getting the vulnerability that she wanted from Elliot.
Story goes back to when I was 9 years old and my younger sister Bridie had been experiencing some unusual symptoms with type 1 diabetes and she fell into a coma. My mum burst into tears, which inevitably led to me joining her. My dad's strength and stoicism set us on a path forward, and why I may appear guarded sometimes is I never want to be overwhelmed by emotion.
This is the second task now that we've been given that he has been completely unwilling to participate in. I know that his mum cried and that his dad is a stoic, emotionless man. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Well, wait a minute now, Veronica. Wait a minute now. Is it the most vulnerable story that Elliot could have shared? No. But what was the task? Again, what? This girl stays getting pissed off over things that are dumb. This is his memory. And it actually gave insight into why he is the way that he is. He had a sister who had diabetes. It wasn't looking good. He saw his mother in tears. He was in tears. And his father came in being a rock, almost calloused. And from that moment, he decided, I'm going to be as stoic as my father. So he doesn't like tapping into those deep emotions. He doesn't like, letting his disposition get out of hand. He just likes to come, present a certain way. And from there, she could have investigated more like, okay, well, how has this shown up in other relationships and whatever? But instead, she's going to invalidate the whole thing because it wasn't the kind of vulnerability that she was looking for. Get out of my face, Veronica. What? Nah. And the thing that's pissing me off the most is that I have to side with Elliot. How dare you? How dare you make me side with Elliot? Like, I genuinely don't think that he had done anything wrong here. I really don't. Later that evening, she's clearly still annoyed with Elliot. He's wondering, what's with this energy? And then things come to a head.
I just thought that it was going to be different.
So you're saying that memory wasn't about me?
The story is about something traumatic that happened to someone else.
Like I said exactly how I felt.
How did you feel? That's not an emotion. It's an event. I don't feel any deeper understanding of Elliot. I didn't learn anything about you. Don't you want me to understand you?
Yes.
You're telling me you have more vim for this man over this exercise than what he did at the dinner party? Veronica, are you okay? Veronica, are you okay? What is happening? And some of you guys said Elliot is an actor and we know that she's an actress, so it could be that. But bruh, what the hell? What the hell? She said she wanted him to be more vulnerable and talk about his emotions more. What do you want him to do? Break down and cry? He was a kid. That probably did feel very traumatic for him. And she's like, but this is somebody else's trauma. How are you going to dictate what is and isn't traumatic to somebody? What? Yo, literally, instead of getting irritated, she could have said, oh, thank you for opening up to me. Can I ask, what was it about that moment that made you feel like tackling deep emotions is something that you don't want to do? Because maybe your dad was a little too far on that side and maybe your mom was too far on that side. You could have met them in the middle. Like, why did you decide to go so far that way? Or since then, how do you feel like you've been able to get more in touch with your emotions, or is that something that you still struggle with? Have your exes express? There were so many ways she could have positioned herself to get a little bit more vulnerability from Elliot if that's what she needed to feel good about this. But instead, he cracked the door open and she slammed it shut simply because he didn't swing it open. That is ridiculous. Oftentimes, men find it hard, just to generalize, sorry to do so, but oftentimes it is the guy who finds it harder to open up, to be emotional, to be vulnerable. And this was an opportunity where he did just that. And that was a time where you could have accepted the story and used that as a building block to then promote some more vulnerability. But you think he's going to want to be vulnerable with you after this? I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. Because, so if things don't come across the way that you want them, you will invalidate my experience? Bet. You're not going to get anything more from me. Jamie and Dave are next to meet with their friends and family. It was all happy tears. It's just whatever. The dad approves of their relationship, which is good. I think they have real potential on the outside. Then we have Morena and Tony who meet with their friends, and they cannot get on the same page regarding how things have been going so far.
How are you going?
Everything's good.
It's really tough. I'm not here to attack him. I'm so honest with my feelings. He's got a rug and he wants to shove everything under the rug. I do not want to talk. You don't realise how much you hurt me. He goes away every weekend to Wollongong and I cried in the streets of Sydney. That's not okay. I didn't come on this experiment to go backwards.
Morena's friends were quick to come to her defense, as friends do, and they say that it was wrong for Tony to take time away from Morena, but your friend was insufferable. Your friend was suffocating that man, okay? Based on what we saw. Anybody would need a break from Morena the way that she was acting. Please, be so for real. So the friends, both sets of friends are like, oh, but Tony is this bubbly, energetic, whatever guy. Oh, Morena is this, whatever. And this process has diminished the both of them. Now, Morena feels like it's because of Tony. We all feel like it's because of Morena. Or I guess, let me not speak for everybody. Most of us have expressed already that Morena is the bigger reason why things haven't been going right in their relationship. So she's like, oh, you took my personality away from me, whatever. Girl, okay, fine. Tony is like, how did I do that? And she says, from the moment you figured out how old I was. So I guess this backs up the whole rumor going around that Morena knew that he was married coming onto the show. She knew something at the wedding that made her not want to fully invest in this relationship. Now, I think they're using the age thing as a code. Whatever. This whole episode was just stressing me out. So if the friends can acknowledge that Morena's personality is one way and this process has drained her, then why would they even question Tony's inability to connect with her? He is not meeting the same girl that they are saying they know. So something is off. Like, let's investigate more with Morena. Like, girl, what's been going on? You know what I'm saying? Not just fully blame Tony. Tony is responding to something. The friends did, soften up a little bit with Tony. They said that they're both coming in with strong personalities and that's going to take some time to get used to. They both have to put in that effort, which is true. So then Morena's friends take Tony aside and they're like, okay, what's the deal? Because we know our girl's a good girl. Why aren't y'all clicking?
Romantically, I'm not that way inclined. Not going to blossom into anything, put it that way.
Okay. Is that because of her age?
So you want kids?
It'll be nice.
See, this changes things. I want you to tell Morena you want to have kids. If you're honest, she'll go, well, fair enough, he wants kids. I can't do that.
He wants to have children. Tony, that's the excuse that you could come up with. That's all you got. You telling me at 53 years old, you're only now having the epiphany that you would prefer to be a younger woman so that you can have children because you don't have kids. If you really felt that way, you wouldn't come on no damn reality TV show because that's just wasting your time. Of course, we know men can have children later than women can, but like, if this really was a pressing issue for you, you would have gone and done it already, or you would be actively trying to do that. Why did you come on the show? So anyways, the friends are like, well, I guess we can't fight with that. Your desire is your desire. You have to tell our friend because right now you're making her feel decrepit. Those are their words, not mine. And so I thought he was going to marinate on it. No, he tells her that same night.
We fist bump each other and tap out. I've never had a kid before. It's how I feel. That's how I feel.
You've never said that. He wants to have a baby. Where did it come from? Well, I've just realised I want to have a baby. Serious. Ain't going to happen with a 57-year-old. I want to reproduce. And clearly, I can't reproduce, Expired.
Morena picks up immediately that this man is just making excuses. He obviously is not into her, and he'll find an excuse that is obviously something they can't work through. She's like, I'm expired. You're not getting kids out of me. So this is your easy way out. I'm frustrated that If in fact Morena found out he was married at the wedding, it is now Tony who gets to put the nail in the coffin. I wish that it would have been Morena. The way that Morena is acting, I'm glad that it was Tony. But knowing what we know now about the history and whatever, I wish that it was her. Because now he's coming with this BS as if he's just now having this epiphany. If you really are just now having this epiphany, I honestly would not want to proceed in a relationship with you, because how long did it take you for you to come to this realization? And then now, no offense to anybody who does have older parents, now you're putting your child in a situation where they might not even have you for long, at least not like at the peak of your health. Let's move on. So Veronica returns to the apartment and she has found yet another thing to be upset with Elliot about.
I felt like I really opened up to you. I talked about something that was really traumatic. Like, you were obviously not satisfied, is what I got from what you were saying.
Thank you for the detailed description of how I should communicate with you. I appreciate that. I'm having like a visceral reaction to being met with nothing. So what was communicated to me exactly that night?
The impact this memory has on me, and I'm reading it off the page, like anyone, let me say it. I never want to be overwhelmed by emotion. I just do my best to identify and understand the emotion rather than be controlled by it.
I don't understand your experience, and that's what we're here to understand.
Like, I'm explaining what happened to me in my words, and you're saying I didn't get anything from your words. For you to say, I don't know anything more about you from that.
That's not what I said either.
That's literally just what I've just paraphrased.
Don't paraphrase my words.
Did she not ask this man to explain why she was upset? She asked him that before she left. Now here he is, putting the words together, explaining why you are potentially upset, and now she's being condescending because he's essentially mansplaining it back to her. No, this girl's not okay. She's not okay. Veronica says that Elliot was not vulnerable by sharing the story, not because the story wasn't important to him, but because she feels as if she didn't get enough from him, and therefore that is not being vulnerable. Baby, that's a you problem. That is absolutely a you problem. Your feelings are independent of what I got going on in my life. I can tell you, when I was 6 years old, I broke my pinky, and that affected me up until my adulthood. Whether you care or not, that is my story. That is my, that's not my, I'm just, y'all know what I'm saying. Regardless of how you feel, my story is my story. My traumas are my traumas. Like, what I consider to be a vulnerable moment is that. There are better examples of people clearly trying to avoid being vulnerable. This is not one of them. This is not. So, because you feel like, say Elliot expresses being hurt about something, because you don't feel he should be hurt, he therefore is not hurt? You see how that logic don't make sense? For me, Elliot showed a lot of emotional intelligence. I hate to say it, child. And Veronica was just condescending and contradictory.
The way that you communicate with me comes across as resentful.
I've seen sides of you that I don't like. My walls are up. The way you conducted yourself, got my walls up. Sorry, I have no idea what we're talking about anymore.
We're getting to the root of the issue.
Find a solution. I don't trust you. I will not apologise for that, and that is the truth.
No, that's good. That's good that you're telling me this.
Speaking, I was giving you time and space and grace.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, to adjust, but you haven't.
See, I feel like now we're actually getting somewhere. We're actually able to communicate.
I don't want to sit here and argue. This is giving me a headache. My neck hurts. It's actually hilarious. You're like, I can handle the truth, and I'm trying to talk to you, and you just lose your mind.
Just got to this thing about how you don't trust me.
Don't raise your voice at me.
So Elliot said she could work on her communication, and she shuts that down. She says, that's not me, that's you. But then she says, I have my walls up. I don't trust you. And she's felt this way for a while. You don't think that was something to communicate? You don't think so? Huh. She claims that he cannot handle the truth because he blew up when she expressed her feelings regarding the letter. Show us where. Where did Elliot blow up? And again, I am so upset at you, Veronica, for making me sad with Elliot. Where did Elliot blow up? You clearly can't handle the truth because you blew up. You blew up. You invalidated his experience. You left. You came back throwing a tantrum, contradicting yourself. I can't. I just can't with this girl. I wanted this girl to give Elliot the business, but it had to make sense. And quite frankly, this doesn't make sense. She was better off chewing his head off at the dinner party, because at least she'd be justified. This time around, I genuinely do not think since the commitment ceremony, Elliot has done anything wrong. It might not be the way that she wants him to do things, but I can't say that there was foul play on his part. Simply can't. Simply can't. So anyways, we'll see how things pan out for them going forward. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.